Wandering Winder. Once again, looking at the opening series. Today I want to look at the card Sentinel from Allies. It's a trasher that doesn't really hurt your current turn. I think at some point I might have called it everything Doctor wanted to be, minus the overplay. I kind of feel that way. Let's look at opening Sentinel Silver. Yeah, so sometimes this happens, you just draw silver turn 3. You hit 5 anyway. Great. Whatever. If you're looking at the Sentinel turn 3, which is going to happen 5/12 of the time, I want to note that you can actually guarantee, let's actually go back to a situation where I can show this. So you draw the Sentinel turn 3. You can guarantee hitting 5 on turn 4 100% of the time. Now, sometimes I take that back. You can guarantee hitting 5 on turn 3 or turn 4 100% of the time. It's not 100% going to be on turn 4, because if your exact turn 3 hand is Sentinel, Silver, Copper, 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 you hit 5 on turn 3 and there's not enough money in your deck to hit 5 on turn 4. But the point is, one or the other, you're going to be able to hit 5 for sure. Now, in some of the cases, you're not going to be able to trash 2 cards and still guarantee hitting 5. And so you're going to have to make that decision. So here you can trash an estate, for instance, and guarantee hitting 5. Or you could trash 4. You could trash an estate and a copper and have a 50-50. But if you want to, you can always guarantee trashing estate. So that's the full 41.666666% of the time that you draw Sentinel on turn 3. You can guarantee hitting 5 on turn 4. There's also the case, let's see if I can show this, that's going to come up sometimes, where you hit 5 on turn 3. This would be the equivalent of turn 3. And then you get to play your Sentinel on turn 4, thereby triggering a shuffle that has the 5 in it. You're, very likely to see that 5 on turn 5 in this case, if that's what you're trying to do. So that's going to come up 14.5% of the time, where you hit 5 on turn 3, play the Sentinel on turn 4. So that's also a very good case. But then just, you have decent chances of hitting 5 anyway, right? The chance that you haven't seen the Sentinel turn 3 and didn't hit 5 turn 3 is pretty low, right? You've got the 41% chance to see the Sentinel turn 3. You've got actually a bit better than the 14.5% to hit 5 on turn 3, because 2/7 of the time you're not finding your Sentinel. So you're over 20% to hit 5 on turn 3 without having seen the Sentinel. So you're looking at, not a huge chance of actually hitting 5 on turn 3 or 4. It's less than the chance if you would open silver, but you're also trashing and cycling, and you're definitely getting still a pretty decent chance, right, of hitting 5 on turn 3 or 4. I somehow haven't done this exact math, but I think, eyeballing it based on the math I have done, you're something like 2/3. So you're likely, although not overwhelmingly likely, to hit 5 on turn 3 or 4, opening Sentinel Silver. You're likely to be able to trash 2 cards. you're pretty likely to be able to trash 2 estates. Um, that happens fairly often. I guess that's the other math we should talk about here, right? And that's some more math I have. If you're just looking at your deck that you have after turn 2, your deck is a Sentinel, a Silver, and all your starting cards. That's 3 estates in it. How likely are you to be able to trash 2 estates on a Sentinel play from a random deck start? Well, there's 3 estates in the deck. You're looking at 5 cards. Your chance of having no estates in those 5 cards, 12%. Your chance of having 1 estate, 45%. Your chance of having 2 estates, 36%. And your chance of having all 3 estates in the 5 cards you're looking at is 6%. You might notice that adds up to 99. I rounded a bunch of these. They round down a little bit. Your overall expected number of estates trashed is about 1.3. Now that's if you were to look at the thing turn 3. If you're seeing the Sentinel later, you're going to be able to trash a little bit lower in terms of number of estates. And that's just because you're probably going to have bought more good cards, so your deck's going to be a little bit bigger, and or you've already going to trashed some estates, which would really make it harder to see more of them. But it's good at trashing estates, right? It is a little bit better at trashing estates than even something like Steward is, because you're looking at 5 cards instead of 4. So it's a good trasher early on, and while trashing, it still helps you somewhat to hit your price points, better than the other trash 2s. So I think that this is an excellent opening card, and one that I'm going to open in probably most games. Like, I'm going to probably take Chapel and Ambassador over it, but very little else. Unless for whatever reason I don't want to thin, or I hit 5-2 or something, Cathedral maybe. But in a lot of cases, Sentinel is an excellent trasher that's very good to open with. I should also note, if you're seeing it turn 3, then you trash 2 cards. The end of your shuffle on turn 4, whether you've hit 5 or not, you're at a clean shuffle there. So you're cycling more than most other trashers, or than opening silver. So really just an excellent opener that I'm going to open. I think most of the time it's available. Thanks for watching.